There aren't any special announcements this evening, but we do have some presentations, and I'm going to change the order a little bit. Sorry, with the council. First, I'd like to call on Chief Barberini to help me present Distinguished Service Awards to Police Corporal Valiente and Officer Harper. And I'd like the Chief to tell us about these two officers and what led up to these very special awards. Chief?
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. Thank you for taking the time to recognize our staff. We're pretty proud of the acts that we're recognizing them for tonight. Before we get started, we just wanted to mention that our thoughts and prayers, as far as the San Bruno Police Department family, are with our counterparts down south. It's been a rough couple days for law enforcement. On Wednesday, October 5th, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office lost a sergeant to gunfire, and just a couple days ago, the Palm Springs Police Department lost 2 officers as well to the same type of incident. So we are thinking about them as we recognize our officers tonight. San Bruno Police General Order 1-11 establishes the Distinguished Service Medal and the requisite for how and when that award is awarded. And it's awarded to any police department employee who distinguishes himself or herself in the performance of such duties under unusual, complicated, or hazardous conditions where the employee used excellent judgment in accompanying an assigned mission. This may also be awarded to an employee whose action and training directly resulted in saving or preventing the loss of human life. We have 2 such individuals who are eligible and have been approved for the awarding of that medal tonight. The first is Officer Andrew Harper. On July 2nd, 2016, Officer Harper was vacationing with 3 family members in the Trinity River area known as Cemetery Hole. All 4 individuals participated in saving a life that day. An inexperienced river kayaker became trapped by submerged tree branches just above Cemetery Hole on a bend of the Trinity River in Lewiston, California. A group of experienced rafters saw one inflatable kayak trapped between a submerged tree in strong rapids just above this fishing hole known as Cemetery Hole. The group of rafters beached their rafts while 2 of their party, Officer Harper's cousin and uncle, ran to provide aid. The kayaker was able to free herself from the wreckage while the 2 men attempted to recover the boat itself. At this point, a second inexperienced kayaker, the first kayaker's husband, was immediately pulled under the same log, flipped into an inverted position, and became trapped underwater. Parts of his harness and rigging became looped around the tree, making it impossible for him to right his boat or free himself from the rushing current. Officer Harper retrieved a knife in order to cut the man free, and all 4 men worked feverishly to free the drowning kayaker, who remained pinned between the log and the riverbed. All four men climbed into the submerged log, onto the submerged log, and pulled the kayak and trapped operator back against the current. They were able to lift the kayak just enough to reach the snag straps holding the kayak in place and cut them. However, the kayaker was still trapped by the branches. All 4 rescuers then battled the force of the river current, nearly being dragged under themselves, and were finally able to pull the kayaker to safety. Without a doubt, the actions of Officer Harper and his family members that day saved this kayaker's life, and had they not been there and been able to do what they would have done, it would have been a very tragic circumstance. So I'd like to commend and congratulate Officer Harper on his actions. The second individual that we'd like to recognize tonight is Corporal Joe Valiente. On August 8th, Corporal Valiente rendered immediate emergency aid to a stabbing victim who had come to the rear of the police department. The victim had been the victim of an assault at the BART station on BART property, who had been stabbed by another subject, and came to the police department for aid. The investigation revealed that an apparent argument over property had escalated to the point where one subject stabbed another. The victim was able to walk to the back door of the San Bruno Police Department building and gain the attention of Corporal Valiente. He observed that the victim was bleeding profusely from his arm. At this point, Corporal Valiente removed the victim's jacket and immediately noticed that there was what was later determined to be arterial bleeding from the victim's severed brachial artery. Recognizing the life-threatening seriousness of the victim's wound, Corporal Valiente applied a combat application tourniquet that he carries on his duty belt, on the upper arm of the victim, effectively stopping the flow of arterial blood and saving the victim's life. The BART Police Department wrote an extensive email to me commending Corporal Valiente and noted that their detective responded to the hospital and confirmed the serious nature of the victim's wound, specifically the severed artery, and spoke with a doctor and nurse who agreed that the timely application of the tourniquet had saved the victim's life. In addition to Corporal Valiente, I'd like to point out that night that his partners, while he was rendering aid to the victim, were able to interview witnesses, identify the suspect, and take the suspect into custody for the BART Police Department. So it was kind of a team effort there, but Corporal Joe Valiente took some extreme steps in saving this subject's life. So I'd like to commend and congratulate Corporal Joe Valiente. So as the process, each officer is awarded a medal, Mr. Mayor, and a pin they can wear on their uniform on a daily basis.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we did those first because we have probably half the police force here tonight. So you're welcome to get back out in the street if you'd like. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.